Hey, what's up friends, welcome back to the channel. This is Oston back again with another simple video on AJAX. So in the previous tutorial I showed you I can make asynchronous request and fetch some simple text and display it on your web page. Basically that's what we did in the previous tutorial, and I promised you that in the next video we are going to be fetching some simple JSON data still using the AJAX requests. As you can see, this data is fetched from somewhere asynchronously without reloading the whole page. Like this, clicking this button and you go into another browser, or this same page reloads and goes to this browser with this content. But right now we are just fetching it asynchronously without reloading the page. That's what I'm going to be showing you in this tutorial. But first we are going to start by aligning it or arranging it the way you're seeing this. You're going to have some grid system using materialize. What I'm going to do is create another simple button, and I'm going to give it a class of btn, and I'm going to give it an ID of btn2 because the first one was btn1. In case you never watched my first tutorial, please go back and watch it so that you get up with where we are. So I'm going to say fetch JSON, and I'm going to put some simple icon on it like we did on the first one. So fa dash, and this one is going to be database because that's what I want. So this is what we are having. I wonder why this one is happening. Oh, I forgot to cross the I, so it was repeating the icons. Yeah, now I want when the user clicks this button we get some JSON data displayed in the web page. Now since I talked about the grid system, I want to be aligned like this. Then we are going to be creating some div. I'm going to cut this, create a div with class of row, and inside this div we are going to have class of call dash s12 dash m3. So basically these are classes got from materialize, don't get scared. I'm going to create another one, call s12 small screen, then m3 means the medium screens, and lastly the one we shall be using for the external API. This is the column I'm creating, s12 m3 on medium screens. I want the first one to be having this div. Let's see if it has worked. When I click this, as you can see now it's having some 3 columns here. So when we click, the JSON data is going to be displayed somewhere here. So that's the arrangement I was talking about. I can make this one 4 medium screen. I see it's somehow squeezed. Yeah, now 4. Now let's go and create some. Right here we are going to be having some div with the ID of output 2. So this is the div we are creating. So what we're going to do is come here. Since we created this div, this button, it's having the ID of btn2. Now we want to create some event listener on it. So we're going to create document dot get element by ID, and it's having the ID of button 2. Then we add on the event listener, which is going to be a click. Then we are going to be creating this function. You can name it anything you want. So mine is going to be load channels. So basically we have not created any JSON data right now, but I'm going to be showing you how you can do that. So basically this is what we are having. Now let's go down here. Let me comment this, fetching text. Then the next function, you're going to be fetching JSON data stock channels. So we are going to create this function of load channel. So we are going to go here and we say function, and we put load channel. So to test if this event has been added on our button, the one you're seeing here, that if I click, then we shall go under here and say console.log, and we say I'm clicked. So let's refresh the page. Press F12 on your keyboard. We get this console. Let me first make it wide. Well, when I click this button, see we are having I'm clicked. That means the event listener has been successfully added to our button. The next step, now let's create the JSON data that we are going to be fetching. It's going to be very simple. So right click in that parent folder where you are, then Ctrl S on your keyboard to save, and I'm going to call this channels.json. Now it's going to be an array of channels, so we shall start with those brackets, square brackets, then we put the curly brackets. The first one is going to be as you can see, if you write, it's not a valid JSON data, so we put them in double quotes. This is the key, pair, name. So this one is going to be channel. Then for the key value, let me say Oston, the channel name, Oston code Cypher. So assume this data is on the YouTube servers. It's what we are going to be fetching. Then for the type, that's the key. Then the key value is going to be education. As I said, assume it's on the YouTube servers. Then about, then for the key value, it's going to be, let me say, I provide web development online courses. Then let's say created on, so it's going to be created. Then for the value, it's going to be effect date 25th June 2016. So basically this is our first JSON data we are going to be fetching. As you can see, this is the key, then these are the key values, the ones we're going to be fetching and displaying in the browser. So I will put a comma, and I'm going to copy the same object here. So make sure you separate this with a comma when you are writing another object. Now for the next channel, let me say Uganda Film Talks, and this one is going to be entertainment. SP. Then we say we bring you the latest celebrity gossip. Then the date of creation, we are just going to put some fake dates. Then lastly, put a comma. We are going to create another channel, let's say PewDiePie, and the type is going to be comedy. Then for the about page, we're going to say I make videos 11th, let's say October 2006. So those are fake dates, but still, yeah, this is going to give us some real image. Assume these ones are from the YouTube server, and you want to make a request to this JSON file and display this content on your web page. That's what we need right now. So we have created the JSON data here. As you can see, when we click it, we're having this simple information. That's what we're going to be fetching and displaying in the browser. Remember, we created this, so when the user clicks this button, we fetch some data and display it in the browser. So this is where the data is going to be displayed in, where there is output 2. Now let's create this function that's going to be fetching the data. We are going to create a variable, and I'm going to call it XHR again, like in the previous tutorials or tutorial I created. As you can see, it's going to be almost the same. So we are going to say equals new XML HTTP request, then we are going to call xhr.open, and this one specifies the type of request you want to make. So it's going to be a GET. It can be post, it can be post. Now for us, now we want a GET request. Then, as I told you, this one will be the URL, short for uniform resource locator. Where do you want to get that data from? So we created this JSON data file, so we are going to be getting from channels.json. so that's where our information is. Since it's going to be asynchronous, we say true. Then we are going to say xhr.onload and assign it to callback function or anonymous function, and this one we shall check for the status of this request. So we shall say if this, the reason why I'm writing this, because we already inside this function, so I can say if this xhr.status, so but I hate repeating myself, so we shall say this dot status is equal to 200. So 200 means it's okay. If the status is okay, then this is what we want to do. So first of all, we are going to create a variable called data, and we are going to assign it to this dot response text. Now there is a reason why I'm writing this at first, because I know some of you may be already knowing AJAX. I want to show you something. And here we are going to be looping through this file, the JSON data. So I'm going to create a for, so I say var I in data, so for var I in data, then basically I'm going to first do a console.log, and I'm going to say data, then since it's an array this side, so I'll say I dot, so we use the key pair, let's say channel. Basically that's what we need. Now when I reload this browser and I click this button, oh, I don't know, let me see. So for var I, oh sorry, before doing this we need to send the data. So we shall go here and say xhr.send. That's why it was not sending back the feedback. Now we are going to refresh this page. Then when we click this button, we are going to say they will show you undefined. Why? Because for us to be able to display or access the individual key values in this JSON data or JSON file, we need to first pass this text and they interpret it as real text in the browser. So right now it's in the JSON format. Then we need to pass it to JSON. So we say JSON.pass. So basically this one will be able to interpret it as simple text and display it in the browser. So when I refresh here, remember at first it showed us undefined. When I click here now, they can now fetch the channels. When I put type, they'll be able to display the different types in the console. As you can see, education, entertainment, comedy. So right now it's able to interpret this as simple text and display it in the browser. As you can see, we are getting the types only, we can get the about only, the created on dates only. So we are now ready to display this data in the browser, since we can now loop through these arrays, the JSON file. So we are going to create a variable called results, and we are going to assign it to nothing. Put the semicolon there. Allow me delete this. So what we are going to do here is we are going to first append the data to this variable we created, results. So we are going to come here and say results plus equals, so we are appending to this variable we have created here. Now we are going to be using the backticks. So these backticks on your keyboard where you're seeing one, the first button, so this is where these backticks are located. So we shall be free to write any type of HTML we want inside this loop. So we're going to first create the unordered list tag. Then here we create the li. Whoa, I don't know why it's bringing this. Let me just write it automatically. List item. So the first one is going to be the channel name. So we shall write the $sign and curly brackets. Then this is where we shall be able to write data. Then we are looping through I dot the pair name, so it's channel. That's how we are accessing this JSON file. So we access channel to give us the channel name. Then the next list item, it's going to be the type of channel, so $sign curly brackets, and we're going to have data I, so that's what we are looping through, and we say type. Whoa, not outside the brackets, we say dot type. So I'm not going to repeat myself, I'm just going to copy this several times. So we are having channel name, type, about, created. Oh, I keep on doing this. So this one is going to be about, and this one is going to be created. So when it was created, now I'm going to just change this one to about. This one is going to be type, and this one shall say created on. Now let's output this data in the browser. So we shall say document dot get element by id. So this is the field or area we want to display this data. It's having the id of output 2. So we are going to say document dot get element by id, and we say output 2 dot inner html. And remember, we created a variable here called results, and this is what we are appending it to. This is the simple data we are now appending it to. So we have to create, we have to call this variable we created, which is results. Let's refresh the browser and click this button. As you can see, now we are fetching this simple data using using AJAX. Let me go in the browser and increase on each div from 3 to 4. Let's refresh. So basically this is the data now we are fetching. As you can see, channel name, type, about, created on. So it's looping through this JSON file we created. Assume it is from the YouTube servers and you want it to display it on your browser. Now, as you can see in the live example, I showed you these lists are somehow designed. Now let me show you how you can do that using Materialize. So we shall go to this class and give it a class, to this tag of UL, and give it a class of collection. Then we give also this one a class of collection dash item, and I'm going to put it on every list item. I know it looks messy, but yeah, we need to design this. When I click this is what we are having now. They are somehow arranged. Now I'm going to make this first one active. Where is it? The channel, it's going to be active. It's going to be having the red color, since we are talking about YouTube. So basically that's the JSON data we are fetching from the YouTube servers, as we are guessing. So you can make a lot using these AJAX requests. You can fetch data from anywhere. So in the first tutorial I showed you how you can fetch simple text. Then in this tutorial I have showed you how you can fetch simple JSON data from an external API. It's not an external, so it's going to be in the next video that we shall be fetching data from an external API. Let's make these first key pairs bold. So I will go to channel, put it under the B tag, the type we also in B in B tag. I know it kinda looks messy, but if you follow step by step, you'll get to know what we are doing. Whoa, kinda tired. As you can see now, it looks somehow cool. You can now differentiate between the data definition and the data following. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel, like the video, share it on different social medias, and I'll see you in the next tutorials. Peace.